Hey everybody, welcome to Design with Jo. I'm Joanne Rogers. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Central Alberta, Canada, and I've been designing with you in mind since 1999. So today is Facebook Live. It is the 27th of August, and I've got a fun project today using watercolor, but we're gonna twist it up just a little bit and do something a little different with it. I'm gonna turn you down and I'm gonna show you a few things with my creativity kit class, and it's the Come to Gather and it's the bundle, and then I'm going to show you everything that you get with the kit. And so with this set, with the kit, what you get is all of the supplies to make the cards and this cute little box here. And so with the kit, there's different options. So the first one is that you get the stamp set and the dies to make it, and then all of the supplies. But what you also get is, let me just move you over here to a different part on the screen. What you also get with the creativity kit and option one is you get the stamp set and the dies, you get a quarter package of the Come Together paper, and it is beautiful paper. I really am enjoying it. You get a half package of the ribbon combo, and the ribbon combo has two in there. It has a Cajun Craze linen thread, and it has a crumb cake satin based ribbon, which is really pretty. And then of course all of the paper packages. So basically the ribbon is free, your supplies are free, you get all the embellishments, and I have a comprehensive detailed PDF for you. So that's option one. Really, option two is in it the same, but it's in-person class. And that one is going, I think, on September 12th. I'd have to just double check that. I'm not sure now. The 12th or the 13th. Option three is if you want all of the supplies. So if you've already got the kit, I will cut all the supplies for you and send you everything that you need. And then option four is a PDF. So a PDF to do everything. Hi, Leanne. Thanks for coming. To make everything yourself. So there's a template for this as well. So there's all kinds of fun ideas there. So just another quick look at these. There's multi-layers and some different ideas, a peek through card there. There's some Wink of Stella and a little bit of watercolor here. And then this is what I have a template for, is to make this little box with all the measurements. So super cute. Okay, so we need choices. So you need to choose if we're going to work with fall colors that are, this is Mango Melody, Terracotta Tile, or Old Olive. And your second option is to work with blues, which is Seaside Spray, Pretty Peacock, and Shaded Spruce. So how about the first two people to pick that? So blues or oranges, let's say. Then you don't have to type very much. We're going to decide that, and we're going to make another couple decisions, and then we're going to move on to some other things. Okay, Jennifer's got fall colors, so there's one. And oh, Pat's got blue. We need a tiebreaker. We need a third person to decide on what we're going to be working with tonight. Blues. Okay, sorry, Jennifer, you're not getting those colors tonight. We're going to work with these guys instead. So we have Seaside Spray. And I am just going to push these really and hope to get myself a pool. With the new Stampin' Pads, with the old ones you used to be able to really push on them and get a nice pool of color there. I'm not so sure that I'm going to get a pool. I'll open those in just a sec. If I don't, I'm just going to pull out my re-inkers and I'll give myself a dot of ink there. So the next item we have to think about is I'm going to work with the decorative masks tonight. And so these are the ones, these are the Pattern Party ones from the main catalog. I should have pulled them out because they don't want to come out of the bag now. So we need to decide what we're playing with, if we're going to play with diamonds or what are those, bricks? Then there's clouds, and then there's the big medallion one. Personally, for what we're doing, these two are going to be better. But before we make a decision on that, I want to show you out of the new catalog. So we have some in the new catalog, and we have some dots in the new catalog. We have some, I'm going to call them scrolls in the new catalog. We have trees in the new catalog, and we have this is almost like a Baroque kind of design. So I think, why don't we say the first person to pick out of all of those ones that I showed you, what would you like to work with tonight? So diamonds, bricks, scrolls, trees, dots, Baroque. Bricks. Okay, Jennifer was first, so bricks it is. And I'm going to pull these guys in. We're going to have to make some other choices later too. Okay, so tonight I'm working with watercolor paper, and I'm just going to use my aqua painters, and I'm going to use the ink that is in my stamp pad. So let's see if I can get, oh, I got a nice big pool of color in my Seaside Spray. How about Shaded Spruce? Oh, that'll work in Shaded Spruce. And Pretty Peacock. Oh, you know what? We're doing okay here tonight. So let me just get that. I've got a sticky hanging there. Okay, so what you want to do with this technique, whenever you're doing watercolors, what you want to do is you want to put it onto a surface that's really sturdy. So this is, oh, this is something from years and years ago. I had a little calendar where we did toll painting, and I toll painted a picture on this, and it sat in the top of the calendar. And I toll painted one of them, and I never got around to the toll painting the other three because you could do all seasons. And how many people have stuff left over in their own kit like that? So what you want to do is you want to tape down, and I'm just using painter's tape, and I've taken a bit of the stick off. I've used this once before, and I'm just going to tape it down because I have found if it's straight off the roll, even if it is the green tape, it can remove some of my paper, which I don't really want. So you've seen me do this technique before, where I'm just creating a background. Well, I don't know that I've actually done this one. Have I done this one with aqua painters and stamp pads? I don't think so. The last time we did it, I think we used markers. So what you want to do is you want to make sure you have a clean aqua painter, and one that doesn't have much color in or no color in it, and you are going to just squeeze it together until you get some dots. So I could have some color. Oh, mine's very light color. And I'm just going to move this around, and when you move it around, you want to be able to see the sheen of the water. So you want a fair bit of water on there. So we're creating a wash that we're going to go in and add color to. Okay, so I'm going to go in and pick up my lightest color first. My lightest color is my Seaside Spray, and then I'm just going to go in and play with it. One of the things I noticed with Seaside Spray is you want to touch it into the wettest part of your wash. And the reason why is, can you see here? It leaves like a little dot right into the paper, right from the very beginning. So I'm going to go in now. I'm going to pick up some of my Shaded Spruce. Oh, this is very pretty. So I'm using my brush on its side. So on its side so that it's going, I'm not working with it like this. Because I was going for lightest to the next color, I didn't really need to clean it off, but now I need to clean it off. So I am just going to press water through it, and I just have a paper towel here until it's pretty clean. And so that's fairly clean, and I want to get it wet again, make sure there's lots of water still, and now I'm going to go in with Pretty Peacock. So Pretty Peacock loves to move. So, and that's what you want with watercolor, is that it's going to move. So I'm going into the wettest part so that I can move it. And then here it's not very wet. And so when it's not very wet, it's not going to move very much. And so I've created almost a bit of a dry effect there. I think I need a little bit more color there. So I'm going to go back in with some of my Seaside Spray, a little bit more water there. Because it's the lightest, you may need to apply that one a couple times. Okay, so you don't need to have color everywhere. You want nice, you want edges that aren't even. We're done with that guy, and now what we want to do is we're going to put our bricks over top. So I'm going to lay my bricks directly over top, and then I am going to try and make it as tight as I can on there. Now, I lost my tape. There it is on the floor. So I am going to tape this down right over top of the others. And I don't know if you can see when I do that, it actually is pooling a little bit. So I'm going to pull it this way very gently. Can you see where the color is darkening up on the edges? That's what you want. So I'm just going to put that as tight as I can on there. Same with the top and the bottom. And then this one, of course, is not going to pull too much, but as much as I can, I'm going to pull it down. And then I'm going to set a heavy object on this. Now, someone remind me, because we'll come back to this at the end. We obviously won't be able to use this one tonight, but I want to be able to show you at the end what it looks like. So I'm going to put, maybe I'm going to put the tin that I have my shares in. I'm going to put that on top. No, I'm not. I'm going to put something a little bit bigger than that. I'm going to put these stamp pads. So I'm going to put them on top just so that it lies flat. And I have some examples here and another couple of cards that I want to show you afterwards. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside. Again, somebody remind me, because I'm quite liable to forget that that's there once I get talking. So I'm going to close these up because we're basically done with our color. So when you are watercoloring, if you like more vibrant watercolor, you want to place lots of deep color down on your images. And if you like really soft color, obviously you don't want to put quite as much. So now we have some choices to make because I have a few that I've already done. So this guy here is mint macaron, seaside spray, and it might have only been those two colors. And of course I didn't write on the back. Now I wanted to tell you that I had some fails. This guy here was a fail, but this one was using the scroll, so the new scroll that we have, and it was laid down this way. I actually think it's sort of cool, but why it is a little bit of a fail is that my paper, I could tell, was not lying flat, and my mask was not sitting on it flat, because otherwise I should have seen that continue all the way down. This guy here was one of the best ones that I had show up. So out of those four, which ones would you like to use tonight? And Cherry Leanne, this one here, I'm thinking that's what you mean by cherry, is this guy. And I would have to say this one has got the best results. So I think I want to play with this one too. Okay, so now we're going to get to the card. So I need to cut this down. And I'm going to be using the stitched rectangles, and so I've already cut my stitched rectangles, and so I know that I need to have this cut down to 3.5 by 4.5. So I'm going to decide, you know what, you need to decide for next color choice. So somebody out there say white or black. And white, Jennifer. Okay, so by white, what that's going to be is I've cut our stitched rectangles, and I have cut, this is I think the second largest and the fourth largest, so that I created a frame. And so now what I want to do is I'm going to pull, this is why I always start with a bigger piece of watercolor paper, is I am going, oh, we had 4 blacks. Oh my goodness, Jennifer, you are very lucky. If I had said I was going to take 3 people, and you know what we'll do? We will try the black on top of here. So what you want to do is just move this around, and you are just going to see what you like best. Do you like it best in the middle? Do you like it better that way? Or do you like it where you can see all the colors? Do you like these little ragged edges? So this is where you really get to be the designer and design what it is that you like to see the most. So if anybody wants to tell me what they like the best, do they want to see more red and orange or not? And while you're deciding that, let's just take a look and see what the black looks like on here. There's the black. So it could be a little bit more pop off the page, but the white is going to be really quite pretty too. So I might just go with what I like here, because it's going to be pretty hard for you guys to tell me what you like. I'm going to go for this guy down here because I really like this kind of ragged edge. So I'm going to cut this to be 3.5 by 4.5. So I'm going to cut it off, but I'm going to keep this paper. So it's going to be, whoops, 3.5 this way. There we go. And it's going to be 4.5 this way. So good news, we have news that our Stampin' Trimmer that demonstrators should have it available by the end of December this year. So that is great for us. And then we're just going to put our white on top of it. Oh, look at that. And it is cut. I need to cut it down just a smidge. I must not have cut it quite right. So I'm going to cut that down just a smidge here. I'm going to take it out of the white side. And I think I only needed to cut down that side. Let's see. Yeah, I do. Okay, so just before we move on, because Jennifer had selected the white, but we had so many black, Jennifer, I'd like for you to decide if you want to stick with the white or if you want to change to black. Okay, while we're waiting on that, what we have to decide as well, Jennifer, still white. Okay, we'll save this one for another one. So we're white. Now, okay, so someone different. We need someone different to decide, are we going to go with copper? So there's copper on there. Or are we going to go with black? And we're going to need to pick these guys too. So copper or black? So copper is pretty cool. It's very pretty, isn't it? Okay, so I'm going to put the copper there. We're going to leave that off to the side, and we are going to do some words. So I've chosen the First Frost stamp set. Does everybody remember that one? And I'm also going to put my words down near the bottom over here. So it's going to be me needing to push this over a little bit. I'm going to put it over here. So I'm just lining this up with the lines of my Stamparatus so that I know it's going to be straight. This is a clear mount, so I don't have my foam pad in here. And if I put it there, I think it needs to go down just a little bit more. So I'm going to put it up one square there. Okay, and make sure you don't have those two. Yeah, I like that a little bit better. You don't have those two magnets going together because otherwise they will smack together and they will break. So I don't know if this is in the screen. I'm just going to use my Memento and I'm going to stamp that right over top. Whenever I'm stamping on watercolor paper, I want to use my Stamparatus. And the reason why, your watercolor paper is bumpy. So I'm going to give that one actually another little bit because all the best looks like it could be just a little bit darker. I'm not too worried about the rest of it, but I will do the whole thing. And so if you happen to miss it, how many people have stamped on watercolor paper and you end up with half of an image and then you can't go back on top of it? So here we go. That's nice and black. So there we go. That's all we want. I'm going to pull that off. I will clean that up later. I'll put it in a safe place so I do not put my fingers on it. Okay, and then it's really just assembly. So we are going to put the white over top. And I'm just going to put my glue on the back of my stitched rectangle. And I will have the measurements for this on my blog, and my blog is www.designwithjo.ca. I will have them on my blog on Thursday when I post everything so that you can get the measurements and you can write them down rather than trying to write them down now. So I'm just going to position this over top. I don't want to see any of that paper on the bottom. That's why I use liquid glue, because I can move it around. So I've got my liquid glue, got my liquid glue on here. It moved on me when I put it down. There we go. Okay, so set that up pretty good. And now we're going to put our leaf on it. My liquid glue is really setting, but I want to have that peek from behind here. Okay, so I'm going to maple leaf. Good, Leanne. That's what I was hoping for. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to just dot this. This is how I mostly do mine. I do pull out my silicone mat and my sponge, but usually let's use the L word. I'm a little too lazy and I just want to get it done. So I will dot my glue on. So I get my glue to come out. I keep holding my glue fairly firmly, and then as I put it down, I just give it a little push. And so I'm able to get the glue coming out without it gushing all over. And you don't need to put it everywhere. You just need to have it in a few spots. So now very carefully pick that up and try not to touch it where there's glue. And I am going to try and stick that in. Oh, good, it worked. There. Glue it down and hold that for just a minute. And I might need to stick a little bit more glue in the top here because I took that apart. So I'm going to do that just so that it'll glue together. And now we just need to finish it up. I am going to put dimensionals on here. But I think what I'm going to do instead of dimensionals is, let me just pull them out here. I have some of the foam adhesive strips. So I'm going to cut some of those guys up and we'll use those. So I like these if they give a much firmer finish, I guess, if we want to call it a finish, or stability, I guess is the word I want, to the card. So I will sometimes use these, almost always actually, I'll use them with watercolor paper. And I want to use up some of my strips here. And I move it in just a little bit from the end so that you can't see it at all. And then we're just going to take those off. I'm going to glue this down first. So this is just a piece of basic black on top, and I chose the black. You could have gone for white as well, but I chose the black because of the black writing. I didn't let you guys choose that one, did I? And I'm going to take the backing off of my foam adhesive strips. So I've got a couple more designs I want to show you once we're done, because there's some other things you can do with these too. There's the way that I just did it, and I'll show you another one. And I want to show you a little bit of a fail that sort of still looks okay. Okay, so there we go. So that is our card. So how do you guys like it? You designed it. You created all the colors between the white and the copper and picking these colors. I am going to take a look at that watercolor paper. I haven't forgotten yet, so we can take a look, but I'll show you these other designs first. So there's the one we made, but I use, instead of using a mask, a plastic mask like we have used tonight, I used the actual metal die, the metal leaf die for this one, and I laid it on top. And I thought that it would be heavy enough to actually resist, but I don't know if you can tell, there's just a tiny little bit of it there, which is interesting enough, but it's not enough interest for me. So this is more just a black background with, so there we have, you can see the difference between the black and the white. So they do look a little different, and this one here I think has a bigger frame. So this is a little different design. So this is just the nested, what are they? The nested framelits, I guess, right? And so here, this is where I've just taken the die, and this is from the Come Together stamp set and dies, where I have cut out the piece of paper instead of just cutting it square. So I've cut out the leaf, and there's enough color on there that you see the leaf. And then I have embossed it with copper powder here and cut out a couple of the detailed ones. And this is a little bit of the copper trim. And so these colors are Rich Razzleberry, So Saffron, and Cajun Craze. So there's something a little bit different that you can do with it too. So I'm going to pull it up. We're going to see. My instincts tell me to let it stay, but I want you guys to see what it looks like with the brick. So I will probably never be able to have it go back exactly in the same spot. So I might be done after this, but let's see. Okay, so this guy was really wet. So you can see that that's what we were creating with our brick. And I think that one's going to work out fine. Look at the variation in color down here. And we've got lots of bleeding. So it was quite wet down there. We've got real intense color here and here. So I think this one's going to be just fine when it dries. Also, let me know. Do something with this and then put it on to Design with Joe VIP Peeps, or send it to me and I can post it on Design with Joe, because I'd love to see your creations and that you're actually playing with the tools that you have. So have fun. Thanks for coming. And if you want to get on to our exclusive group, it's a Facebook group called Design with Joe VIP Peeps. Just head on over there and ask to, I'll sign you up. I sign everybody else up. So you don't have to answer any skill testing question or anything. So I just need to approve you when you come in. And then there's exclusive challenges and little prizes and things like that over there too. So thanks very much for joining me, and I'll see you another 2 weeks. And don't forget, the catalog goes live next week. Thanks very much. We'll see you guys again. Bye bye.